Yeah, this is JGSF 1987 again. Yeah, spectacular show last night, especially the opening ceremony. I had to give Vladimir Putin credit for one thing. He outdid himself. Really outdid himself. So I'd love to see what the closing ceremony is going to be like, and hell, let's see how the Russian team does. See how, we the Americans do. Those are the two teams to watch. Canada's a good team to watch. I mean, they won gold last time. But we don't know if they're going to end up winning this time. Who's to say? But anyway. Now I know. You got to hear a national hymn that sounded like the old Soviet hymn, and actually, you'd be correct. It is the old tune. It's the old Soviet tune. Well, Alexandrov tune, actually. Now, what the heck is that? How the heck did that come back into being? It was a law that was passed back at the turn of the millennium, actually. But why it was chosen is a whole nother matter. That's for another time. But the thing is that, well, actually, no, the reason is actually pretty simple, and I could just tell you this right now. It's the tune that the Russian people grew up with for the longest time. So, it's not like they can't, not recognize it at all. No, they do. They feel a lot more pride in listening to that tune than they did, in the previous tune, which was called the Patriotic Song. Never caught on, and yeah, it never really had any official lyrics. By the time it got lyrics, Putin came into power, and he said, "Bah, the heck with it." That's what happened. And I've been to Russia, so trust me, I know a thing or two about their real history. When Matt Lauer said last night that, for NBC, that, yeah, it may seem like 20 million Russians have died. Well, 20 million, I'm going to tell you this right now, for World War II, is a conservative estimate. Some people think it could be as high as 50 million. Again, it's not easy to figure out because some people were just simply not named. Or they were just mass graves, and so that's why they can't always account for everybody who lived and died. So that's why they're saying the estimate is between 20 and 50 million. Then again, you don't know which one of those 20 to 50 million were actually killed by Stalin. We'll leave that for another time. But yeah. It's good that they went over the Russian alphabet because, again, everybody was marching in Russian alphabetical order. Now, Russian alphabetical order, I'm going to tell you something. Those countries that you usually think of coming in towards the back, in English alphabetical order, countries like oh, I know a good one. Yeah, I'm thinking of ones such as the state, such as crap. What am I blinking here? That's right. One that usually comes in towards the back that you would not think to see towards the front. One would be actually I'll think of it later. Well, let me say this. One that you usually see towards the middle comes into the back, and that it would be Japan. That's one. The one that you would usually see towards the back that ended up that's actually coming up towards the front is actually one actually. This really gets me is surprisingly is actually would actually end up being the Virgin Islands. They would go towards the back, either British or U.S. Virgin Islands. It doesn't matter. They usually go towards the back. In Russian alphabetical order, they march towards they're actually towards the front. Don't ask. It's just how the Cyrillic alphabet is. You know, thrown together. It's alright. I'll post it at the side of the video. You know, for you all to see. By the way, there's also been another thing on my mind, which is yeah, I've been under some stress and strain, you know, just documenting my way really into the real world. It's true, I am transitioning out of my father's office for the time being. But working there for about, was it 7 years? Yeah, it's been 7 years. February of 2007. It's nice, but you can't keep working there forever. Look, he's very good when it comes to insurance. You want insurance? Contact Howard Golden. I will enclose the information via the side of the video. If I can, you know. But yeah, I would say definitely give him a call. If you want insurance, well, I'm gonna give you a massive heads up. The open enrollment ends March 31st, so get on. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, I've been seeing quite a few kinks also with the you know, the way that Cover California is starting to come through. First of all, there's a massive backlog for the entire insurance companies. Second of all, these insurance companies are bouncing everybody around because they don't know what the hell to do. Cover California is trying to figure out what it's doing. So, yeah, you gotta go with the grind in that sense. I'll be candid, the way that this rollout came out was pathetic. But I'm sure when all the kinks are ironed out, it's going to be okay. And I'm sure it's going to function, not perfectly, but at least be somewhat functional. The fact of the matter is, this is going to be, when it is fully functional, this is going to be about 1,000 times better than what we had previously. That was the worst kind of model. We were paying twice as much for. We were insisting on keeping a system where we paid twice as much, and not even everybody is covered. I mean, what the heck is the real point in doing that? You can't do it. It's just, it's not a sustainable thing. Oh, by the way, yeah, I know, I gotta, I know I look like a madman. Again, it's just a lot of strain, a lot of stress, you know, that kind of thing. Also, I gotta say, for all those on the international scene, if you're going to be seeing Americans complain about, if you saw a lot of Americans complaining last week about this Super Bowl, like why Americans are complaining, let me tell you something. When you're watching American gridiron football, what you don't want to watch is a blowout. They're boring as heck to watch. Because after once they get like a 4 or 5 touchdown lead, you quit watching. Because you know it's predictable that they're going to end up scoring another touchdown. Again, they're going to end up scoring another touchdown. And then scoring another touchdown. And then scoring another touchdown. And then after a while, it's all like, there's no way that you can do anything. It's so lopsided. It's like, ugh. It just gets to the point, especially if it's a Super Bowl, the only thing you want to watch after a while is just the stupid commercials. Me personally, I quit watching after the first quarter. Because I knew. As soon as there was that safety and then a couple of touchdowns, I knew. I'm like, this is going to be a blowout. I don't need to watch. It's like, who the heck cares? This is going to be such a boring game. It's better if it's a very close score. Because that is captivating. Because then you don't know. Because then it can go either way. And that is a beautiful game to watch. Peyton Manning is a good quarterback. I'm going to tell you that right now. But he played like crap on Super Bowl Sunday. He absolutely played like crap. He played right into the Seattle defense. The Seahawks have the best defense in the entire league. It's even better than San Francisco's. And San Francisco used to have the league's best defense. We're still one of the top defense teams. But we're a good team overall. But, again, too many of our guys got hurt. So that's why we didn't make it. Whatever. There's always next season. Well, all I know is... Oh, I'm going to kill this in 15 minutes because this thing drags on and on and on. I just thought I'm going to lose too many of your attention. But yeah. Anyway, just to recap. Obamacare is in pretty much full swing, as I know it has been for the past month. There's some kinks to it, and they're trying to iron them out. Also, like I forgot to mention before, unemployment benefits. Let me tell you something. I know people who are unemployed. We all know somebody who's unemployed. Don't think that inaction will prod Congress to do something about it. It's not. Republicans, this is deliberate. This is, in fact, a means of trying to make you pissed off enough to put them in charge so this way they can screw you over entirely. Don't play into their mind games. Pressure, especially if you're in a district, a congressional district, or a state represented by a Republican this year, do yourself a favor. Don't do your country a favor. Do yourself a favor. If you're unemployed, ask them why they are not doing their job to help you. You send them there to solve your big issues. Republicans have not been doing their job for the past 3 decades. None of them. The last time they did anything that was even substantial in terms of public policy was welfare reform back in '96. Yeah, they did some changes to Medicare. But again, that was not what we needed because it created a whole bunch of expensive options. And it was literally a handout to the, to big pharmaceutical companies and to the insurance companies to charge whatever the hell they wanted to seniors, practically, but within a certain. Well, basically, it was about actually, no, it was a handout to the pharmaceutical companies, and I realized I went over my 15-minute slot, but don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it because at this point I'm actually, because I need to finish my train of thought here. Yeah, that's that. That was closed by, of course, the Affordable Care Act, because that was known as the donut hole, and that was actually closed. Thank God. Let's see. They are still trying to, guess what, eradicate people's right to, or severely curtail people's right to vote, again, to rig elections. It's electoral fraud we got to watch out for, not vote fraud. Voting fraud, 0.0005%. Very minimal. It almost never happens. Electoral fraud is a lot more common, and that has been going on since basically the turn of the millennium. More or less. Well, on the basis of the, well, on the Republican side at least, their extreme one. Also, you gotta understand that they are not arguing on your behalf here. They're not. It's about trying to save the wealthy, the wealthiest 2%, 1 to 2%, all the money. This way they can keep it all, and then have everybody else play everybody against each other. Through all kinds of racial nonsense or whatever, which has been happening a lot, as I'm pretty sure you've been seeing. Oh, and not to mention, I posted a link on my blog, jgsf1987.com. We need to actually start holding a lot of these networks accountable, such as NBC News, ABC News, CBS News, all of them. The mainstream ones. Fox, I don't even consider mainstream. They're just hardened Republican propaganda. None more, none less. MSNBC, it's kind of a push, because they are partially, I'll include them in NBC News. David Gregory is probably the most obvious example of this. For NBC News is Meet the Press every single Sunday morning. He's pandering and peddling out conservative talking points. He does this every Sunday morning. It's getting very old, very quick. I'm sure David Gregory is a very, 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 very good reporter and tries to stay as objective as he can. But you can tell there's like no liberal voices in there. There hasn't been ever since the eradication of the Fairness Doctrine. The only times you hear anything in terms of liberal balance is in MSNBC sometimes, and even then, there's not enough of them. The one that tried to at least maintain a balance was CNN. They don't need to worry about ratings. They just report. And it's something that they're very good at doing. They should stick to that. I don't bother to watch a lot of these shows anyway, because I know that they're all flaming biased and such. It is what it is. But we should not keep that kind of complacency at all. Anyway, we should be telling these executives to A, start championing objectivity, not right-wing talking points. Don't pander the far right anymore. Anything that is not far-right propaganda is considered liberal bias. Facts are considered liberal bias at this point. it's not something that's sustainable. You can't do this because you're going to have people so dumbed down to the point that nothing is ever going to get done. Additionally, and I've been seeing this too, there's been a lot of Republicans, just straight up lying to the American public. Again, that's not a surprise. They've been doing that for 3 decades. I'm not going to say much more on that. Anyway, since it's been over 20 minutes, I tell you what, I'm going to kill this one, and I'll be back again. Later.